is everyone's favorite. It's wiring. I got the computer to acknowledge the OBD2 connector and scanner, and I was able to actually physically move the throttle body and see it move on the computer, which is the first step that I wanted to get to, knowing it worked, but just to make sure that my grounding system and communication was okay with the key. That's the first step I realized into getting the K.I.T.T to work. The K.I.T.T has this connector that is designed to intercept oil, temperature, all those pressure signals. It's designed to intercept that from the vehicle's factory engine harness to the factory engine. This is a non-CAN car, so that connector now needs to connect to this guy. In this series of wires here, part of K.I.T.'s original wiring, everything that connects to the dash to K.I.T.T is gonna be in here, and these are gonna need to be spliced into whatever is my oil temp, oil pressure, RPM. So once that gets fixed, and then that way when K.I.T.T plugs in, it sees the signals from that computer. And so that's what we're doing today, is finding out which wires on here all correspond to what K.I.T.T would be seeing on the back of his plug.
That really hurts my brain. That hurts my brain like a history test that I didn't study for in junior high, and I know I'm gonna fail and get grounded. That's what wiring does to my brain. Steve is so smart and so talented with these kind of things. I am so happy to have him on my team, because literally I got a headache just listening to him right there. So I'm so thankful for him being able to do that. But I know you guys don't want another full wiring video, so I'm going to try and get the headlights mounted, get the passenger side fender lined up, and then get the front bumper back on. Good mix of everything today.
Everybody's favorite. I love wiring, by the way. But I know that because it's really going to come down to about 15 or 16 wires, and that's about it. So we find those wires, we make sure that this one can send the signal, which it can, and then we will find a way to share the love between them, and then K.I.T.T will be happy.
This is the wiring chart that Steve found for the car. This may as well be calculus to me. It hurts my brain looking at it. I think if we had superheroes in this world, Steve would be like the Megamind villain, and his head would be this big. He would be Megamind. Should be able to adjust that. I think aligning panel gaps is awful. It's hard work. If you don't get a good gap, you have what happens like when I opened the door that it pushed the fender in. So now I'm trying to massage the fender back out while also getting it bolted back up and lined up. It's just gonna take some massaging to get the line back. And then the hole that this bottom bolt goes into, I'm not sure if the bolt is stripping out or if the hole is stripped out, but I can only go in so far and it stops. So I've gotta figure that out here. M8 by 125. So my threads have a bad spot in the nut that's welded to the body. So I'm using a thread chaser to try and clean the threads up. And I can't get it in from the front because of the fender, so I'm trying it from the back, and feels like it's working. Hopefully it doesn't break off in there, because then I'm kind of really screwed. But it feels like it's going. I think I got past it. Well, what do you know? I fixed something. All right. This is my thread chaser. This is actually a cutting tool to rethread and fix the damaged threads. Luckily for me, I think what the issue is with the old fender, and there was washers, since this nut and bolt go all the way through, I think it was just corrosion and buildup from the years. So that was a fairly easy fix, thankfully. So this should have been a 10-minute task that I was in and out and quick and done with, but as it goes working on old cars, one bolt can ruin your day multiple times. Big washer. Perfect, perfect. That's 8 by 125 right there. Already has a washer on it. I need that. Beautiful. A couple of threads going by hand just to make sure. Get my here. Oh, look at that. Now can I open my door without it folding in here again? That's gonna be the trick. Ah, there we go. That makes me feel so much better. That's a a little close, but so that'll work. All right, so there's an original kit that is in the Volvo Auto Museum back east somewhere. I think Indiana, and it has California night plate on it. Well, basically all of us that have replicas have this license plate. Recently in New Jersey or New York, somebody ran a traffic light, ticket was sent to Volvo Auto Museum. The car hasn't moved in years. So what I'm gonna do is, as soon as this car is done, I'm gonna drive across the 520 bridge with this plate on, and we'll see if they get a ticket sent to them or not. I think it's worth finding out. But in the meantime, night was available for Washington State. It hasn't been registered in 7 years, so the personalized plates are then voided. When I went online to get my personalized plates, BeezeBuildz, you have 3 choices. The first one I did was night, and it told me that it was an invalid configuration. I thought that was weird, so I did N1 GHT. Also told me it was an invalid configuration. I still filled out the form with night with a 1, and then BeezeBuildz is my third option. For some reason, they did not allow me to have night, but I did get the BeezeBuildz plates, which I'm pretty proud of. I own these plates, so even when we sell kit, we'll still have these plates. So looking at the headlights, the way they mount, it's gonna be easier for me to put the bumper on first, I think. That's gonna be the case. So I'll do that, and then I'll put these in. But I also have to find the hardware.
So right now I'm taking the powers to the PCM. I'm trying to figure out where my power loss is from right here to right here. Then I'll recheck my grounds. Those were already good, but because I'm here, that's what I need to do. So where is it going? It's going somewhere.
All right, well, here we are in the back cave, and you notice my cars aren't in here. My landlord has been gracious enough for about the last 6 months or so to allow me to keep my cars in here because she didn't have a tenant. Nice lady. Well, she rented it out to a video production company. They're gonna be using the space. Unfortunately, I didn't get to 50,000 subscribers before the space lease because at the $8,000 a month she wanted for this, that pretty expensive. But the Baja Bug, I managed to sell that finally. Worked a deal with the guy for 2 Holley Sniper fuel injection systems and an original Offenhauser dual carb manifold for a small block Chev. That setup for the Offenhauser will be for sale. Now, the cool thing, the giveaway Maserati that backfired in my face badly. I worked a deal with John Ross from Watch JR Go. That green Maserati is already on its way to Kansas. When he's gonna get there, we're gonna do a FaceTime and collaborate a little bit, which I'm really excited about that. The deal on that was he pays for shipping and buys me a clutch for my blue Maserati, and he can have the car. Now, I'm really excited about that. It's not that I don't have the money to buy the clutch for the Maserati. I just mentally, I cannot spend another $1 on that car. So anyways, say goodbye to the Batcave. Ugly, ugly, ugly. So these little guys, ultrasonic cleaner. I'll use this one. All right, so this is just a little teaser. Obviously, we don't want to power up the car yet because Steve's integrating all the wiring, so I'm just leaving it alone, leaving beyond that. But people have been asking me a lot about, haven't you powered the dash up? Haven't you powered the dash up? Here's a teaser. This is a center console. So it works, has an on-off switch here. Keypad works. I have to adhere the keypad better because I accidentally knocked it loose when I was playing around with it, but I'll figure out how to get everything working properly, but just a little demonstration. So this is the overhead panel. I haven't actually tried to power this one up yet, so we'll see if it works or not. That's pretty cool. I'm happy with that. These center buttons, I didn't think these were gonna do anything, but they all do. Kit's coming to life. All right, so it's been about a week. My package arrived from Mexico, KRMX, and Customs had clearly opened this box, but that's okay because I gotta make sure nobody's shipping drugs. Hubcaps, I haven't opened them all. I've only opened one. So the original ones, I don't know how they mounted on the car, but with KRMX, what they've done, because these are handmade, they did a great job. I mean, I don't think we're gonna have to do any body work to these before they go on the car. They've done a different style lug nut, holes in the center. So you take the lug nuts, and this lug nut has a bolt that goes on it, and it's threaded to hold these on, so you don't have to use the zip ties and make it all hokey like you do with the other ones. So I'm gonna get these lug nuts on the car, we'll get the hubcaps on, and then I'll move on to the front bumper. So these are handmade, just like anything. They're not gonna be perfect. It's got the center holes here. I did notice that one hole, fiberglass just didn't get drilled out quite right. So you wanna check all those before you put them on. Just do a little cleanup on it. It's like that, no problem. This is gonna be the hard part. Now I need to drill these out just a little bit more. What? It's not a 10? No way. 11 millimeter. Looks like the first 4 went perfectly lined up. This one is giving us a little challenge. So if you're doing this at home, sitting on your butt in your driveway, this is probably gonna be a real tricky task. I'm fortunate enough with the lift, I can raise it up and be at eye level to look. Overall, these holes were 90% perfect. I just had to work with the 1 or 2. I know these are gonna have to come back off to be painted, but right now we're just mock fitting everything. Whole car is gonna get blown back apart, but I'm really happy with the fit of this. I'm really happy with the quality. Just make sure, I'm using the 1/4" electric gun, but I'm being very careful on how tight I run it down. It is fiberglass, so if you run these bolts down too tight, you could crack the fiberglass, so you don't want to do that. That'll just weaken the whole thing and ruin your day. But I'm pretty happy with that. This is the second hubcap, and some of the strands from the fiberglass, they must not drill this. They must put this in a mold because there's some strands covering it. So you won't want to try and force those out. Take a drill, lightly push them out. That's what I'm going to do on this one. Just make sure and check before you put them on. I did what you don't want to do. I boogered the threads up on one of these, so I'm not going to run it down. The other ones are ran down. I'm going to leave it for now, and when we take them back off to paint them, I'll clean the threads up so we don't cross thread it. That's something you want to be careful you don't do, and I imagine a lot of people are going to do that if they're sitting on the ground trying to do this. Send me what I asked for. My Saturday parts, people, are not the same as my weekday part people. I ordered 2 boxes of M6 by 1.0. I got 1 box of M6 by 1.0 and a box of 8 by 1.0, 8 by 125, 8 by 125. All right, it's time to put K.I.T.'s bumper back on, and bear with me. Each time I've done this, I've had somebody helping me, so I haven't had to do it myself, and it'll be a little interesting, but I'll get it. I'll probably fumble a little bit, so don't make fun of me. Once I get the first one started, I'll be okay. Okay, first one's in. That was the biggest challenge. Should be easy now. Gotta find the hole in the dark.
I can't find the hole!
Getting the first top 2 in were the hardest part, not dropping the bumper and breaking it too. But it's in. Now I just need to put the rest of the bolts in and get the fenders shaped up, squared up to it. And I need like 2 left hands. All right, K.I.T.'s bumper's back on. So This bumper is custom made. These fenders are aftermarket. There's gonna be a lot of lining up to do. The body shop is gonna do that for me. I'm gonna pay them so that it's absolutely perfect. I'm not a body guy. Yeah, I know a lot about it, but I'm not. So I'll have them get the fit just right. The gap on this side, and again, if this was a factory fender, the gap wouldn't be so bad. It's because the bumper's made perfectly. I had it on with the factory fender. The gap was perfect. But over here on this side with this fender, it's just not quite right. So I'm gonna have the body shop fix that. And then this side's pretty good, but also not perfect. And again, this is an aftermarket fender as well. When I had the factory fenders on, they fit fine. So I'm not blaming the bumper. Bumper's perfect. Just need a body guy to do all of the finessing and make it right. So that's that. Steve has the electrical now where the car is turning over. So we're getting closer to it to running. And since that's turning over, I can put the scanner light on it, finally. All right, well, it's time. We've all been waiting for this one. It's time to wake him up.